Hey, good afternoon, guys. Hope everyone's doing good. Just wanted to do a quick little broadcast about the Tyler Hadley murder case. Just found it very interesting. I'm not going to be doing, I guess, too many old news stories. If one's interesting enough, I'll probably do it. I just thought this was pretty interesting because if you guys haven't heard, Tyler Hadley's the kid who killed his parents for a house party. Apparently, they wouldn't let him have a house party, and he wasn't having it anymore. And he murdered his parents with a hammer and hid their bodies in their back room under a bunch of household items, chairs, beds, furniture, and then continued to have the party later that night. I just wanted to go over a few things, and I know everyone can read, and I know you can look it up, but just to kind of get the gist of it, Tyler's 17 years old. I guess they say he's shy, wouldn't really make eye contact with people, lived in Port St. Lucie, so a little bit away from Palm Beach, Florida. And from what I hear of this town, there's nothing to do. They have like a couple ping pong tournaments. They have shuffleboard. They have old people's bingo. It's just a town, I guess, that a lot of people would say there's nothing to do in. So of course he wants to be, a cool kid and throw a party. But says as a child, of course, Tyler was well behaved. Was close to his parents, tossed football. So I guess in 2010 he was getting in trouble. So not too far. It was a year before the murdering actually happened. A lot of people say that's just because of the type of people that he was hanging out with originally. And, getting into the wrong crowd, smoking bud and doing drugs. I guess the night of the murder, he had taken 3 ecstasy pills, and I'll be able to show you all of that. But one thing that I did want to note too was, I'm sure I'll get to it, growing up, he was a little small, and his parents didn't want him to get bullied, so they gave him some testosterone or human growth hormones. And a lot of people think that has a lot to do with his murder. Okay, so Tyler made it as known throwing a big party at his house that night. He said his parents were out of town and the kids had a place to himself. By midnight, 100 kids, most of whom he didn't know. So he didn't know a lot of these kids. He went through this whole act. And another thing I want to say too before I get into it is this is obviously a psychopath, a full-on planned murder. He threw a party and killed his parents for a party, mostly of people he didn't know, just to be cool, I guess. And people would put their cigarettes on the carpet walls and vandalizing, and he wasn't too worried about the vandalization as much as the noise that went on due to the cops. He didn't want the cops to get called. So originally people were chilling and smoking in the house, and he said, get outside, I don't want people smoking in my parents' house. But then he realized that with a lot of the noise outside, that could draw cops, so he just brought everybody inside and said, hey, go ahead and smoke inside. As a friend of Tyler was about to leave the party, Tyler pulled him aside. Dude, I did something. I might go to prison. I might go away for life. I don't know, dude. I'm freaking out. You're not going to believe me. No one believes me. I freaking killed somebody. The friend didn't want to hear this. He said, just pretty much don't tell me, leave me out of it, don't say anything. You need to know. With the intoxicated friend still out to another part of this, I'm going to kill myself. Why would you do that? Because I did something really bad. If I get caught, I'll be in jail for a long time. So clearly he knew what he was doing. And that after the party, he would have to work with consequences. So at 1 o'clock in the morning, Tyler spoke to his longtime friend, Michael Mandel, said, I killed my parents. And he didn't believe him at first, but originally this is the guy who called the police and told him what had been told and wanted to remain anonymous. And, just going through this, it says they saw legs sticking out. Of course, they found the bodies underneath where he had put them. And just wanted to take a look at a few of these too about Tyler. So let's take a look at this actually. It says beforehand he really wanted to have a party, and you could say here, party at my crib tonight, maybe. Someone let me know. Okay, baby, party, party, party. I'm down. What's good with that? And then right here, you can see it's highlighted, some sketchy. I don't know, man. I'm working on it. And that was Saturday at 12:48 p.m. Kimberly apparently lived right down the street from him, said, I'm down. And it's just kind of sketchy. So he clearly had this planned. And just to kind of go over a few of these Facebook messages, apparently he sent some, says, don't worry, my parents won't be here, knowing clearly that they're going to be dead. Before he beat his mother to death with a hammer so he could throw his parties to impress a friend. So, okay. A Facebook message sent by Tyler the day he allegedly bulged, locked their bodies in a bedroom and threw a raucous party, revealing chilling plans. Prosecutors say the untied teen into the murders. 5 hours before the police came, he popped 3 ecstasy pills, buried a claw hammer into the back of his screaming mother's head in front of his father before killing them in their home. Friday, Hadley was asked by a friend where the party had been bragging all about still on. And as you can see, here's the photo that was taken the night of the party. He's clearly on drugs. Clearly the look of his face, he knows he done messed up. We're taking a look at his sweet parents, so I hope they rest in peace. Just a really nice couple. At least they were able to go together, and at least they're resting in the hands of the Lord for eternity. Just a really nice couple. They look like really good parents, and as you can see, they have a psychopath for a son who clearly knows what he's doing, and then tried to use mental illness and praising God and becoming a pastor and giving his life to God in order to get a life sentence. And that's what, to get a lower life sentence, and or not a lower life sentence, excuse me, to not get a life sentence, to get a lower sentence. And that's what really makes me mad, because people just think if they use claim they give their life to Jesus, that all of their stuff's just going to go away. And not saying that God doesn't forgive, but they just think that here in this world, that if they say stuff like that, they'll be good to go. And yeah, just a psychopath. And this is a picture, I guess, just in one of the rooms. I think this is where one of the bodies had laid, and he just dumped a whole bunch of stuff on top of it to kind of cover it up. This is where the party was, clearly in the kitchen. Got all the alcohol bottles and everything in the living room. And this is one thing I wanted to go over too. I have another website, or another little tab here that shows some more pictures, but this looks like the garage or the laundry room. And you can see this is where he used his Clorox to try and scrub and clean up the mess before it had happened. Yeah, so no one would notice. And as you can see the Clorox down here. It's a crazy crime scene outside of his house the next day. And then it's very sad, very sad. Something I wish that nobody would have to go through. Something I wish that would happen upon nobody. But it says, and it fantasized about murdering his parents and throwing a huge party while their bodies were still inside. And then, yeah, also reveals that Hadley's mother had put son human growth hormones when he was younger and feared the depression she suffered from it infected on her own child disease. So they both suffered from depression, but there's many people I know that suffer from depression, and people try to use that as an excuse to have like mental illness or for these things to happen, and it's really not. This takes time and time of thinking and just snapping. So yeah, trouble with the law, unknown drug taker and underage drinker. So we've had similar ones like that before. Whoops. Okay, so we got some text messages here. Let's see, on April 10th. Sorry, guys. Okay. Fast forward spring first part had in mind becoming troubled because 17-year-old juvenile record, previous burglary conviction, spent jail. Okay, his mother confiscated his cell phone, and this another revealing Facebook exchange with a friend during his home arrest. That minds his theme jumped to boastful exaggeration. Okay, so here we go. On thoughts of taking his own life. Don't text me about drugs. What happened? My mom has it because I got arrested on Monday and she's flipping shit. I just got out today. Oh shit. Effing sucks. You bad kid. Just kidding. It's pirate's life for me. Hadley's confused friend didn't seem to understand where the conversation was going. Just probably thought it was, just nonsense talk. But literally, no, this kid was for real. Came with all the, you're so silly. What are you doing? Nothing, considering suicide. So death has been in this guy's mind. He claims that he had conversations with the devil. And, I believe it. I believe that if you put yourself in the circumstances, and you might have just that talk with the devil, and you might get some evil thoughts going in your mind. That's what I believe was going through this kid, and he just snapped. All right, let's see real quick. So this is, the Justice for Tyler's Facebook page. So somebody made a Facebook that's justice for his parents, which is really awesome. It goes to know that they're not forgetting, and people do recognize them and want them to rest in peace, which is really amazing. And then I just wanted to go over some of these evidence photos. I was able to find it on Murderpedia, but just looking at like the house where the party went on, and just kind of looking at these crime scenes, really eerie, because nothing was moved, nothing was really touched, just a few things were tried to clean up, but you can see that everything was still clearly from like where it was the night before. The party, snacks, beer cans, cups, everything on top of the counter. Here's another picture of that Clorox. Picture of his living room, it looks like, with the couch cushions all trash. This is what happens when you throw parties. And then this looks like it was the murder scene. This looks like maybe where his mother was hurt and killed. And then, because the same room right here, this same exact thing is where the bodies are. And he put the bodies underneath all this stuff right here. As you can see, we got some blood. And I guess one of the cops witnessed a leg sticking out as well. But yeah, just this horrible, horrible, sick thing, what people do. And it's heartbreaking. Some people like this out here actually, share the same world as we do, but I guess that's just how it goes. There's evil in this world. There's good and evil. And yeah, it's just really sad. Covered them up with all their all these just random stuff, just dump stuff on top of them, just disrespectful, man. This is crazy. This picture, the desk where the glass was broken, where I thought the mother had been killed. It doesn't say exactly right here. I believe that's the same spot right here where you can see like a massacre went on, and it's just awful. But there's a second set of pictures as well that I wanted to kind of go over with you guys and show you. Got some evidence photos too. See if I can get it. Maybe it won't let me. Maybe I have too many. There we go. So let's do evidence photos too real quick. And St. Lucie Police Department evidence picture crime scene inside the home of Mary Jo Blake Hadley as part of the murder case against Tyler. So got some documents here, it looks like, with some blood on it. More documents, some blood. Probably where it came from, out of the Staples book. This is a mop that he used that clearly has blood on it. to try and clean up his parents' blood and try to clean up the scene real quick before the party, the mob that he used. His mother's shoe, I believe, and as you can see, there's still blood right back here. Crime scene, nothing really has been touched. And his all black Air Forces that he wore the night, he was wearing all black. He had a black shirt, black Dickies, and black Air Forces, and these are his shoes right here in his home. As you can see, blood still on the floor by the door seams, by the sliding glass door seams. There's blood still. There's blood all over the carpet. So just a really gruesome, mentally ill case here. And then I got a this video too that I wanted to show you of Tyler's friend that said he ruined his life because he was known as the best friend of a murderer. And Michael Mandel, who originally made the call to kind of give police a tip, this is what he has to say about it real quick.
Friend. Mandel says Hadley had just made an unbelievable confession that he killed his parents.
After he told me, I didn't believe him because he's been my best friend forever. I would never suspect anything like this. And I was looking around. He told me if I looked good enough, I could see signs. I looked on the floor, I could see signs of blood. And that's when I went around back and looked at his parents' bedroom.
Hadley went before a judge this morning, facing 2
So initially, I guess he was bragging.
Chief Assistant State Attorney Tom
Sure, some could
says
say he was scared, he wanted to talk to someone about it, but he was initially bragging about it. I think he thought it was cool to kill his parents and to throw this party and have a cool house party.
Offer charges for the deaths of Blake and Mary Jo Hadley.
We, in fact, plan and fully anticipate at this point in time, we will take the case to the grand jury.
These sheets piled everywhere.
And even after seeing it with his own eyes.
I saw bloody sheets piled everywhere. I saw broken pictures with blood on them, and I looked down and I saw his dad's leg.
Mandel
That's pretty sad, man.
Friends for years.
So yeah, saw the leg sticking out. So I'm gonna exit out of that, and I'm gonna exit out of this one just so my computer runs a little bit quicker. I will eventually be posting on this Facebook. I believe that this is important. It did happen a couple years ago, but the most important is it's remembered and not forgotten. It's just really awful. So yeah, his sentence, this is kind of where I wanted to get into it with like what his sentence was and like how he tried to plead not guilty. And then he says right here, I wanted to claim, he says, I'll get out. He wrote to a friend. He wrote his friend, he says, I'll get out. Teen allegedly beat. So he had it in his mind that not everything's going to be good. He could kill his parents. He'd get away with it. He could blame it on that his life is changed on religion and mental illness and that everything's going to be good. But that's not the case. So he had a plan and he knows that he was going to at least try and get out. I want you all to know I regret what I did, but I have found God. I shocked the world and I'm sorry. There's somewhere too, if I can find it, it says where he claims he wants to get out and be a pastor as well, and I really don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, smoking cigars and drinking. Their bodies were lying in the bedroom as being in good mood in hospital. So he was clearly like not phased. That's why this is clearly a mental illness and psycho. He wasn't phased after this had happened. Think about it. If you had just killed your parents and threw a party, the normal person wouldn't do that, all in all. But yeah, this is just clear signs of a psychopath. Then yeah, I planned to hold a second party. Okay, so one of his friends, he had planned to hold a second party. So he had more plans to do so. If he wouldn't have gone to jail and wouldn't have been caught, he probably would have had another party as well. So they probably would have just kept having parties and kept having parties. But yeah, we know that he says he found God and he's sorry and he's going to give his life. So do-over. So let's see here. Because I know that he was initially on March 26th, he got life in prison without parole, which is good because that's what his brother went to the stand and said that he wanted full life. I mean, he knew exactly what he was doing. This is first degree murder, and on 2 counts, and he he deserves to be exactly where he's at, in prison without parole, and that's what he got. So just a really awful thing. I know a lot of this stuff happens around the world, and some stuff doesn't get published about it, and things don't get said, and I just thought it was really, really messed up, really eerie. Something in my heart was telling me to just go ahead and make a little video about this, kind of giving some facts, going over a few things, even though most people already know. Just thought it was really, really horrible. Let me see. Am I trying to get here something for you guys? Maybe I missed something. This is what I wanted to kind of show you as well before I close it out. Is somebody made, I don't know if this is his or somebody made this. I think somebody made this just because of all this right here. I mean, this is clearly a joke, and people are sick in the head. I mean, yeah. This is, they posted a thing about them himself right here. Tyler Hadley won. The Floridian 17-year-old, according to police, bulginized his parents to death with a hammer and invited dozens of friends via Facebook party with bodies, lay quietly in the bedroom, was indicated 2 counts of first-degree murder handed down on Wednesday. Upgrades what were originally 2 counts of second-degree murder with weapon in July 16th, my birthday, deaths of Blake and Mary. No motive in case attorney has been reported. So clearly, this is someone just making a joke, and it's pretty sickening that people do this. If anything, we should just be remembering his parents. And it looks like this is the murder weapon. Yep. Looks like we got pictures of the murder weapon as well. And then, yeah, people, of course, calling him out for being sick. So this is clearly fake. But yeah, that's the Tyler Hadley. Happened a couple years ago. Figured I would just kind of redo up on it. We can go over a couple of these messages too I found on the Rolling Stones website that I thought was pretty interesting. It kind of goes into a little bit more detail about it. It says Saturday, July 16th, Hadley received a Facebook message from his friend Antonio Ramirez. Tyler, what's up, bro? Chilling, what are you doing tonight? I'm trying to have a party at my crib. So Tyler is trying to have a party at my crib. Your parents ain't home? Nope. Well, they're leaving soon. And this is at 1:15 in the afternoon. Tyler posted on his Facebook wall, party at my crib tonight, maybe. And that's what we looked at. I think I clicked out of it. I clicked out of it, but it was what I showed just earlier. And then it says no one was convinced by this. I guess everyone knew how strict his parents were. But at 8:15, he posted another message saying, party at my house, hit me up. So let's go down a little bit and see what we got. He goes, whoa, what if your parents come home? He replied, they won't, trust me. So yeah, clearly a psychopath. Let's see. The party was getting started. Mike Young arrived, 10 or so of his friends, around 11:30 p.m. Now, I don't know if this means anything. I know that a lot of fake news and news likes to sign their codings in like numerology and 311 meaning 33. I believe this really happened, but I don't know like the gist of it, more mental illness, but I don't think this means anything. There are plenty of other news stories that you can tell are fake that have hidden numerology. I think this actually happened, and I think this just happened to be the time that it happened, or that they specifically just made up that time. Because why couldn't it be just 11:31 or 11:32 or 11:29? It's got to be exactly 11:30. But anyway, Mike, popular athletic junior, knew the host only by sight. Tyler was distinctive looking, tall, skinny, nearly Cadavaris at 6'1", 160 pounds. Quiet, nonverbal, so didn't really look you in the eye, like mentioned before. His friends, potheads, juvenile delinquents, pill poppers, were not the type of kids Mike liked to associate with, right? Okay. So Tyler answered the door wearing a long black shirt, black Dickies, and black Nike Air Forces. So from what we saw in the other pictures, is his Air Forces that were on the ground taken. He seemed anxious, or at least anxious as you can be while on ecstasy. It was clear that he was rolling. So everyone knew clearly he was on drugs. It was clear his eyes were large and white pupils expanded, and he kept rubbing his hands together, nervously clenching his fists. He says, "I don't want no one smoking inside. It's my parents' house." Before long, 60 kids in the house. Most of them had no idea who Tyler was. So yeah, most of them had no idea who Tyler even was. So he did this all to impress people he doesn't even know. They draped themselves over the couches, played beer pong, dining some scrounge for food in the kitchen cupboards, gathered packs front, tossing cans on lawn, living room, cigarettes, right. Tyler seemed less concerned about the destruction of his home than the noise. So, yeah, clearly the cops getting called. He didn't want the cops seeing what he had done. So just stay in the house, Tyler said. Nobody particularly, you can smoke inside, I don't care. So a little idea rose in his head that someone's going to call the cops. Cops might hear the noise. And okay, now this is interesting. This is where it kind of gets interesting because it's crazy. Mike was talking with some of the girls on the couch when a very drunk skater kid, he looked like one of Tyler's fans, ambled over. "I smell dead people." Giggling. Mike looked up. "What's that supposed to mean?" "Oh, I don't know. Some people are smoking, that's all." "All right, dude, whatever." The skater laughed, wandering off. A large crowd gathered around the beer pong table. The table was directly next to the family computer where the kids listened to Wiz Khalifa, Lil Wayne. White keyboard was tagged brownish dyed liquid, Coke, liquor, whatever. Soft-spoken, 17-year-old, black-haired, combed angle. His forehead was playing beer pong when he overheard someone say, "Oh, he killed his parents." Everyone laughed. And he won 15 straight games. So they were joking about it. He was joking about it and telling people. He told specific people that his parents were in Orlando, and that they were in Georgia, and then other people that he killed them. And it was starting to get around, and people thought it was just a joke. See, they're in Orlando. They don't live here. This is my house. Let's go down a little bit. Let's see. Tyler's friend missed the party because he was visiting his grandparents in Chicago that weekend. During hung out with Tyler 2 nights earlier, playing video games and walking Tyler. And he seemed fine. So clearly mental. But 2 weeks before that, he had hanging out at Marquet's house. When Tyler blurted out in the middle of a conversation that he wanted to kill his parents and have a big party after. So this was clearly planned. He had clearly thought about this. He had clearly wanted to throw a party. He knew his parents were going to say no. And if they said no, he knew what he was going to do. Nobody had ever done that before, Tyler, to throw a huge party with the body still in the house. So he clearly wanted to be remembered for something sick. So this guy is clearly a psychopath, clearly has mental illness, but not mental illness that we need to blame. That's why he did this. He's just clearly messed up in the head. Alan thinks about his murders before they happen, wants to be remembered for some sickening stuff. Okay, so that's crazy. He figured Tyler was trying to make a joke. Nobody ever took him seriously. Of course, nobody ever takes him seriously. They all think that he's just kidding, and nobody ever looks for the signs. And then 2 weeks before the party, Tyler complained that his mother had confiscated his cell phone. Yep, she's a CUNT. For sure, I might kill her. So he clearly had talked about it before, clearly had plans. And it's just a really sick thing. And just to kind of go over one of his other friends too. "Did you do it?" "No, but I'm gonna." "Bet you really should do it now." "Do it." "Don't worry, I am." "Then I'm having a party." Yeah, party time. So he thought he'd be cool. And all my thoughts and prayers are with this family. The brother, the mom and dad, I know they're resting in peace. It's awful what people do and what they try to do for fame and to be cool. And it's really sad, but just felt like I should go over this a couple minutes and go over some facts that I noticed and just kind of review the whole story. I know it's been a couple years. I don't want it to be forgotten. I'm going to be doing like little news things like this, making little videos, kind of going over it in case anybody questions or just wants to look up facts for themselves or whatnot. So I just want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'm blessed to be able to do this for you. Stay tuned. Feel free to subscribe. Be doing more and more as time goes on. But I hope you guys all have a blessed day. Stay positive. Thank you.